Hey everyone, in today's video I would like to explain to you about arithmetic sequences that are in terms of x, and we are going to do two examples. So let's take a look at the first example over here. So here we have a sequence, and as you can see in the sequence, the first term is in terms of x, it's 3x, and then your second term is 2x plus 4, your third term is 4x, and so on and so forth. Now, these are the first three terms of an arithmetic sequence, and the question is asking us to determine the value of x such that it satisfies the fact that it is, of course, an arithmetic sequence. So, how are we going to do that? Okay, so the first thing we need to remember is that with arithmetic sequences, there is a constant difference between the terms. Okay, so what that means, if you want to work out that constant difference, remember you can take any term, for example, the second term, and then you can subtract the term before it. So, for example, if you work out T2 minus T1, that is going to give you your constant difference. You can work out T3 minus T2. That's also going to give you the same constant difference. And so using this principle over here, it will allow us to set up an equation in terms of x that we can then use to actually solve and figure out x. Okay, so we're going to use this equation over here, but we just need to be careful, especially here where it says T1, because we are subtracting the first term, okay? Now, the first term here is just 3x, so I mean, this is not going to be too difficult. You're just minusing 3x, okay? And here the second term is 2x plus 4. So on the left-hand side, at least, it's quite easy to set that up because you are only subtracting one term over here. However, here you need to be a little bit more careful. Here you are minusing T2, but you will notice that the second term has got two terms, 2x plus 4. So you have to subtract both of those, okay? Now, the way that I would suggest is that you put this in brackets. You're going to write 2x plus 4 in the brackets, and then here where it says T3, that is your third term, which is 4x. Okay, so here I'm going to place my 4x. So now we have started setting up an equation where we can start to think about solving this and then ultimately figuring out what x is. So if we take a look on the left-hand side here, what we can do, at least for now, is to collect the like terms. You can work out 2x minus 3x, that is negative x, and then you've got plus 4. So we have negative x plus 4 equals to. Then on the right-hand side, you must just be a little bit careful here. There's a minus, okay? So we are not going to distribute the 4x into the bracket. Why? Because the minus is there. Now you must remember this actually means minus 1 times, okay? So essentially you are taking the minus 1, the negative 1, and you are timesing it into that bracket. So it's going to become 4x minus 2x minus 4, right? Remember, when you say minus 1 times 2x, it's going to give you minus 2x. And then when you work out minus 1 times positive 4, that is giving us negative 4. Okay, and then what is happening with this 4x in the front? Basically, you're just carrying it down into your next step. Right, so now we can continue. Okay, what I like to do is tidy up each of the sides, look at the left, look at the right, add your like terms if possible. I've already done something on the left, but on the right-hand side, we can collect the like terms like that. 4x minus 2x equals to 2x. Then what we can do over here is we need to obviously make a decision where to bring the x's. I'm going to take the x's where there are more x's, which is here where the 2x is. So I'm going to take this negative x and kind of just bring it over, change it into plus x, and then take this minus 4, bring it over that way, and then change it into plus 4. So the result is going to be that I have 4 plus 4 is equals to 2x plus x. Continuing, we get 8 equals to 3x. Okay, sorry for that. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. So continuing from here, we get 8 equals to 3x. And then continuing further, we get 8 over 3 equals to x. Okay, so now we have figured out a value of x that actually will ensure that this over here is indeed an arithmetic series, or sequence at least, an arithmetic sequence. You can even check it if you substitute your values of x in. Okay, so if you, for example, put 8 over 3 in the place of x over here, and over here as well for your second term, and then also over here as well for your third term. So, you know, I'm just obviously putting this in to just show you what's going to happen. Then you can see the first term, what's happening there? Well, the 3's are cancelling out, and so the answer there is going to be 8. Okay, so your first term is then 8. Your second term over here, you would have to obviously work this out. You can take a calculator and work it out. But this is 16 over 3 plus 4. So if we just do some math quickly, it's 16 over 3 plus 4. And then 4 can be written as, if you times it by 3 at least, you can write it as 12 over 3. And then adding these numerators, you're going to get 28 over 3. So the second term is 28 over 3, right? And then your third term over here, this is, you just say 4 times 8, it's 32 over 3. So your third term there is 32 over 3. So you see, this is then the actual sequence. If you had to substitute that x value in and work out the 3 terms, this is what the sequence would look like. Now, if we just check quickly, what is t2 minus t1? Okay, so t2 minus t1 is 28 over 3 minus 8. 8 can be written as 24 over 3, you know, if we're trying to get those denominators to be the same. And working this out, you're going to get 4 over 3. And then if we check what is happening with t3 minus t2, so if we work out t3 minus t2, there we're going to get 32 over 3 minus 28 over 3, and that one's even easier to work out because the denominators are both the same. So you subtract the numerators, you get 4 over 3. So I want you to notice that when we work out any term minus the one before it, we are indeed getting the same answer. So you can see, you know, for this particular sequence, the first term is 8, the constant difference is 4 over 3. So you can even go further and try to work out the general term, if that were the question. But of course, we have finished answering the question because the question only asked us to work out x. But if we had to go further, you know, then the a we can replace in this formula. Remember, this is your general formula for an arithmetic sequence. You replace the a with your first number, which is 8. You replace the d with 4 over 3, which is what we have just worked out. So this is going to be 4 over 3. Then remember, you times the 4 over 3 into the bracket, and then you add 8 on afterwards. Okay, so you're going to get Tn is equals to, and then 4 over 3n minus 4 over 3 plus 8. And then from here, you just have to work it out a little bit carefully. You know, like for example, 8 is 24 over 3. And then if we put these two constant terms together, you get plus 20 over 3. So you see this over here is then going to be the general term of the sequence. Okay, so just to recap, guys, when we have an arithmetic sequence in terms of x, the main idea is that we want to use the constant ratio, but you just have to be careful here where the minuses are. So in particular, you know, especially if you have 2 terms involved, put it in brackets, guys. Remember to distribute. And then once you do that, the rest of it solves pretty easily. So this is the answer to the question. You know, the question was calculate the value of x. This is where you should stop. However, I did go a little bit further. I substituted in, I got the sequence. I confirmed the fact that the difference is indeed constant. So this makes me happy because now I'm confident that my answer is correct. And then if the teacher asks you to find the general term, you can then indeed go further because you have A, you've got D, you've got your general term, your general formula. You can just sub in your A and your D, and you just crush it from there. So there we go. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. It's done. Okay, you've got it. Now we need to take a look at a second example over here. Okay, so this is just to give us a little bit more practice. In this example, we are just going to work out the value of x. Okay, so first things first, t2 minus t1 is equals to t3 minus t2. Okay, secondly, what is t2? 2x. Minus, what is t1? T1 is two different terms. So what do? You put it in brackets. Okay, so there we go. Equals to t3. What is t3 here, guys? X plus 15. Okay, so we write x plus 15. You do not need to put brackets around these two, okay? Because why? They are not influenced by that minus. You only need to put brackets around this guy and this guy when it has two terms. But if it's got only one term, there's nothing really much to worry about. So like here, for example, minus t2, but we can see that t2 is just one thing, right? So there we can just subtract 2x. We don't really need brackets there. All right, now continuing, we're going to get 2x. Over here, we have to distribute the minus into the bracket. So it's going to become plus x and minus 6. So here I'm going to write plus x minus 6 equals to, and then over here, I might as well add these like terms while I'm at it, right? So x minus 2x is negative x. So I can write maybe 15 minus x, or you can, if you want to, you can write minus x plus 15. I think let's write it like that with the x's in front. Okay, now looking on the left-hand side, we can also add a couple of like terms there. We've got 3x. So here we have 3x minus 6 equals to negative x plus 15. And remember, the way that we play this game is we look where the x's are. We ask ourselves, where are there more x's? Now, of course, 3x is more than minus x. So the idea is bring the x's to where there are more x's. Okay. So in other words, keep 3x where it is. Bring the minus x across and make it plus x. Don't forget to change the sign. Keep the 15 there. Bring the minus 6 across and make it plus 6. In the next step, work out 3x plus x is 4x. Work out 15 plus 6, which is 21. And so then divide by 4 on both sides, and we get 21 over 4. Boom, there's our answer. X equals to 21 over 4. Okay, so guys, I hope that this video was helpful to get you to understand what to do if you get an arithmetic sequence in terms of x. Remember, we want to utilize those constant differences, use those brackets, distribute the minus into the bracket, and then from there onwards, it's a fairly simple process of just solving the linear equation, right? So guys, please remember, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can stay in tune with the latest developments. And until next time, guys, have fun doing maths and be peaceful.